Hi, this is Kay with Rocket to Success, and we're here at CBA Unite 2017. And we're continuing our interview with Shayne, which we started earlier on Facebook. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a very powerful interview. So we're going to continue our interview. So what challenges have you found as a woman writer, and what advice would you give women that are just starting out in that path?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Challenges as a woman writer. I joke, or I said earlier that I didn't go to school to be a writer, and I didn't know anything about the publishing industry. I didn't know anything about. I didn't go to school for writing, and so it was very challenging to me to break into the publishing world, and I didn't know what I was doing. And so my advice would be, don't do it alone. I mean, my husband's from Dallas, and I would always joke, I need a good old boys club, because I just felt totally alone. I didn't know what I was doing, and so thankfully, right when I was starting to write, social media and Facebook was beginning, and so I was able to start networking with other writers and other people in the same interests as me. Kind of, you find your tribe, and then it's not as scary and it's not as lonely.
Great. As you think about your day, and you have lots of hats that you're wearing, how do you manage your time? What's one thing that you would share about managing your time?
You know what? I am a chronic list maker. It's a true story. I mean, in this day and age of all this technology, my family will tell you I have all my lists on my counter, and I love to scratch them off. So that I actually really love to do that. But I will say, even though I love checking off the lists, they're always like the easy ones or the fast ones. And if you want to be a writer, I would definitely put that at the top of the list and make that a priority, to sit down and write. I mean, even if it's an hour a day. I don't sit still. So I'm not one of those people where I can sit for 6 hours and crank out a ton of things. I write a little bit, I empty the dishwasher. I write a little bit, I do the laundry. I write a little bit, and that might not be other people's style, but that tends to work for me.
Yeah. So what's the biggest risk that you've taken in your career?
Okay, the biggest risk I've ever taken was I flew to Washington, D.C., and I went into the One Campaign offices when I had my very first book. The One Campaign is this advocacy group that Bono had founded, and I walked in and I asked Bono to endorse my book.
Wow.
I did not ask him directly, but I went to the people and said, I really think Bono should endorse my book, and y'all were shaking. I was like, this is ridiculous. Who am I? I'm a stay-at-home mom. But it was amazing. One of the people I talked to randomly was in Africa with him and said, oh, hey, you should endorse this book, and he did.
Wow,
I know.
That's exciting.
So I would definitely say that's the biggest risk. I was shaking. I was like, I can't believe that I'm asking this. So the moral of the story is, you don't get what you don't ask for.
Good. I was going to ask you, what's the moral there? And you finish it up.
Yeah. So. I mean, because what's the worst thing? They think I'm crazy and they say no, or they say yes.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So how do you use, well, I can kind of already tell, but I want to hear in your words, how do you use your writing to influence others?
Yeah, I always use this analogy, if you guys know, Rachel Ray, okay, she's okay, so she always says, I'm not a chef, I'm a cook, right? And so I love that analogy, because I'm always I'm not an artist, I'm not a writer, I'm a communicator. And so that's really my style. That's what I've done as a speaker. That's what I've done in my books. My books serve a purpose. So I want to communicate something. I want to teach something, and I want it to be a platform to then maybe talk to you face to face and communicate about something meaningful.
Okay. Yeah. So share a little bit about your speaking then.
A lot of my speaking has been around the book tours, which has been really fun. But I got to be. I did a lot of work with World Vision Women of Vision, and that was really fun. I got to travel around to many of their chapters, and some of those were fundraisers, some of those, just doing in different capacities, and so that's been really fun. I haven't done that for a while, but it's been very fun.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today and with our audience, and just thank you for, powerful work that you're doing.
Oh, wow. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.